Welcome from the deep. I am Mike.
And I'm Brett.
Today we're going to be talking about the movie from 1980, New Year's Evil. Now, if you've been watching the channel for a long time, you might be thinking to yourself, didn't you already review this? I did. I reviewed this as a solo review back in 2022, I think, almost 4 years ago, which is
you saved me
crazy.
The pain of doing it.
I just recently, a few days ago, I watched that review so that I could remember how I felt about it in 2022. At the end of that, I say you were out of town for the last few weeks, so I think that that's the reason that you never got around to watching this, and I did. And when we were talking about like, hey, what kind of New Year's movie do we want to do? This popped into my head immediately because this is like, there's not that many New Year's horror movies, especially like classic cult New Year's horror movies.
Yeah, I tried looking for them.
There's not many. Terror Train is the other big one that people talk about. I don't know if you've ever seen that with Jamie Lee Curtis.
No.
That one's pretty good too.
No, Mike, I've never seen Terror Train.
There's a remake of that one. I'm kind of surprised you haven't seen it.
They remake everything that means nothing anymore.
Anyway, this is 1980. This is before the big slasher boom. So this does not have all the classic slasher tropes that one would find after Halloween and Friday the 13th really take off. So this is right before all of that, which means this still has a very 70s mentality to its horror-ness. So horror. So I think that this is actually a pretty interesting movie, and we have kind of a lot to talk about here within this. So
do you?
Let's start out. I do actually. Let's start out. Do you want to give us a synopsis of New Year's Evil?
Sure. New Year's Evil is about a California sad boy who hates his wife.
Oh, that was it? Okay.
And loves his son maybe too much. There might be something weird going on between the father and the son.
Do you remember what I titled the solo review?
No, God, no.
I probably titled this video something very similar. The incel horror movie, I believe, is something along the lines of.
I don't know if this is an incel movie. I mean, he has a son. He's married.
Yeah, but it's more about the incel mentality that this movie was written with.
Okay.
We'll get to that toward the ending. But that's my biggest issue with this movie. And if you go back,
I feel like serial killers inherently have the
exact same thing.
I think serial killers have inherently an incel mentality. For the most part.
This one is, we'll get to it. I don't want to blow our load here in the first 3 minutes.
Can we start doing morning zoo sound effects?
I hate myself. Chug in the morning. So anyway, today, let's talk about this. I want to go into IMDb because this is one of those ones we do that with.
If it doesn't say sad boy at least once, it's wrong.
From 1980. An hour, 25 minutes, thank God. It's rated R, and the one-sentence synopsis on IMDb says, during New Year's celebrations, a killer calls a disc jockey as he murders one reveler at midnight in each time zone. What's a weird fucking way to write that.
You don't revel in New Year's?
You just don't see the word reveler in common.
Reveler? It's been 5 seconds and you've already omitted a vowel?
It's a little weird. Reveler. I'm sorry.
Okay. All right.
I forgot how big of a Nazi you are when it comes to grammar.
Well, I mean, there's a right way and a wrong way to do things, but it's fine.
That's why his head's shaved. So,
that's why I'm wearing a hat.
This is directed by Emmett Olson, written by Leonard Neubauer and Emmett Olson. It stars Roz Kelly, Kip Niven, and Chris Wallace. Roz Kelly, interesting enough. Do you know who this was? Did you recognize Roz Kelly whenever you were
the girl?
Yes, the main actress.
She was in Happy Days, wasn't she?
She is Pinky Tuscadero. Why is there no photos of her? That's weird.
Because it's Pinky Tuscadero.
But she was Pinky Tuscadero in Happy Days, yeah, for 3 episodes. Now, if you were ever into Happy Days, it doesn't sound like you were.
Nope. I read that online.
She was, there was a pretty big storyline with her and Fonz where she was like the Fonz's girl that could tame him or whatever. So like she was
it because of her blush?
Kind of a big deal. If I remember correctly, she had a big career falling out. I went into a whole deep dive when I did this a few years ago as a review, but she had a real weird, sad career because everything sort of fell apart for her. And you can kind of see why in this. She's not great.
No, that actually brings us to my first talking point. There is not one good actor in this movie. Not one. Maybe the best one is the guy that plays Richard Sullivan.
The killer's pretty good.
The son is so bad and creepy. I thought he was the killer 30 seconds into this movie. That kid is straight fucking creepy and he looks familiar.
So that is Grant Kramer, who you're talking about here. He plays the son, and he's a little weird looking.
Oh, what is that hair?
Yeah, it's. I have not combed it today. That's what that is.
I want the Trump, but not the Trump.
So if we look at his acting credits, it's actually pretty big. He's in Killer Clowns from Outer Space, The Game. So that's pretty cool. Willy's Wonderland. Aliens from Uranus, the Midlife Crisis Guide to Strippers.
Uranus.
Are we getting his MO here? So if we go all the way back to Win Around, this is his first movie, and then he did The Facts of Life.
This was his first movie?
One episode, yes. And then Rags to Riches. He's in Killer Clowns from Outer Space, the movie. If you recognize him from anywhere, that's
probably where I know him from.
And then we go up through here, an episode of Murder, She Wrote, and he does some TV, Young and the Restless. So he's probably, this says 48 episodes of Young and the Restless, which is a soap opera. So he had a pretty good little thing there. But yeah, I agree with you. Generally speaking, there's not very many good actors in this movie. I think Kip Niven, which is the guy that plays the killer, is the best actor, and he needs to be. He's the person carrying this movie, but still,
I feel like Crazy is easy to play,
especially when it's this over the top and like.
Yeah, I feel like Crazy is easy to play.
Yeah,
and I feel like nobody else knows what they're doing. I don't even think the detective knows he's a detective personally, because he is there. I can't remember exactly what he says, but there are so many scenes where he's just stating the obvious that Brittany wasn't even paying attention to the movie, and once or twice she peeked up and she goes, "Oh, gee, do you think, detective?" And so it was just like these. They all feel like acting school students in like 101 before 202.
I mean, this definitely is like low budget. You can tell,
$500,000 budget,
especially considering
it's a $500,000 budget.
That's not a lot of money
in the 80s.
Not 1980.
That's $3 billion now. They spent more than Avatar made.
Okay, so The Shining, for instance, which is also from 1980, had a $15 million budget.
Well, okay, next talking point. I'm sorry.
So I'm just saying, like, that's a lot of money, but it's also not a lot of money. Look at this, The Shining budget. 15 million, 19 million.
I believed you when you used your words.
Anyway, this is a low budget movie, especially if you've got the son who's never been in a fucking movie before. I have a feeling they were probably banking off like, when is Happy Days? What was the run 60s? On Happy Days?
Maybe I'm way off. Maybe it was like set in the 50s, 80s, 70s.
So 1974 to 1984. So yes, I believe she had already done the Happy Days run at this point whenever they filmed this. So I have a feeling they may have been banking on her maybe being a bigger draw than she actually was.
This is a total deviation, but speaking of old TV, have you ever thought about why there isn't a porn star named Beaver Cleaver?
No, I can't say that I have.
You never thought about that? I'm like, I've never seen a male porn star named Beaver Cleaver, and I feel like it's perfect. I think what I'm trying to tell you is that I'm going to start going into porn.
So
Beaver Cleaver.
I just feel like maybe the Pinky Tuscadero thing was like maybe their big draw. So that may have been why this maybe didn't do so well. But I also don't know. Let's find out. New Year's Evil box office. When
Not good, huh?
When you can't even find it, that's
not good.
Probably.
I'm surprised this honestly got a theater release.
I mean, in 1980, it was probably much easier to, like, you know.
Yeah. Yeah. No, you're right.
Like,
you're
hey,
right.
we got this movie, especially before the slasher boom and all that stuff.
Yeah.
It may have been a little bit more difficult, but still, I can't imagine, like, if you have this movie, especially for, like, drive-ins and stuff like that, this is fucking perfect for that kind of thing. So anyway, let's get into this a little bit. Here's my thing with this. This is a really basic premise, and I actually like how all of this is written and how it unfolds, where he is killing people on the stroke of midnight for each time.
It's a cool idea.
I think it's a really dope idea. Yeah.
No, well, that's the thing is when we watched this on the Roku channel. Thank God I was not going to buy this one, but when I read the description of it, I saw that my first thought was, how's he going to get from time zone to time zone that quick? That doesn't make any sense. This is ridiculous. And then when they explained it, I was like, oh. And then my third thought was, there's been a lot of really bad performances up until finding out his actual motive. I'm worried about the next 40 minutes of this movie.
Well, so we're just going to get into it because I don't think that there is a whole lot that we can talk about here without just talking about the whole fucking thing. Because while the premise of this is probably the strongest thing about it, I think that the ending is equally as strong, and I think it almost saves this movie. So throughout the entire movie,
we're about to deviate from each other.
Throughout the entire movie, the killer is going around. We see his face because we don't have the trope yet of who is this?
Right.
Oh my God. It's like, like a Scooby-Doo episode. Yeah,
because
it's Mr.
Even
Richardson.
Halloween, you knew from the beginning.
So, right. So we don't have the big mask reveal thing, but what we do have, which is very smart in this movie, is the setup for the dad missing. And then later down the road, it being revealed, again, we're getting into spoilers here, it being revealed that he is the dad. And I think that revelation toward the end of this movie helps it a lot because it really does set it apart from being just a standard following a killer and now he's going to kill her. He actually ends up being related to her, and his motive, while dumb as fuck, is pretty clever. Like, I actually do like the idea that he's been going around, and it was set up earlier that the dad's sort of like on vacation or whatever. If you've watched a lot of horror movies, you probably see it coming. But regardless, I actually think that that's really cool. And then we get into why he did what he did, because frankly, the first half of this movie is him killing one girl at least at the stroke of midnight in every time zone. They're in the West Coast, so they are on the last time zone to hit the new year. So it just counts down. He's killing people. There's not really any more to it than that. I will say the cinematography and the lighting in the implied kills is very cool because none of it happens on screen.
Right.
So it's a little weird that this is rated R because, I mean,
I was just saying, they could have gotten away with a PG-13 rating in this day and age. For
sure. So either way, there's not a whole lot to it other than he stalks and kills women at the stroke of midnight on New Year's Eve. Until he shows up and it's revealed that he is her husband. And the reveal, I actually think the mask he's wearing during that reveal should have probably been the mask that he wore throughout the entire fucking movie. It's the mask he's wearing when he jumps off the building at the end. It's incredible. It's an incredible
really good
mask.
But what is it?
I don't know. It's very like Nixon-esque.
It's Nixon-esque, but it's almost got like a hyper racist Asian aspect to it.
Yeah, it's real weird.
It's like Asian stereotype meets Jay Leno's chin. That's what it looked like to me.
Here, let me see if I can find a good. So yeah, I think this mask is awesome. I think it's really fucking cool. And this might be the best part of the movie is the mask that he wears for the last 10 minutes of the movie. Now, with all that being said, we get into why he's doing this. I should have told you to watch my solo review. I do it so much justice, so I might just roll the little clip of where I talk about that in this part of the podcast. I don't even try to describe it. I will just roll it here. Just watch this.
Why would you? Because you are just like every other lady in my life. Ladies are not very nice people. They are manipulative and immoral and very, very selfish. You castrated me. And that is not nice.
It's because ladies are not very nice people, and they've just been mean to him his whole life. Wow. And that is where they lost me. For you, basically, it's women have always been mean to me. You're just like every other woman in my life. I hate you. You run around turning our son on, which is, as I say in the solo review, a weird throwaway line that they do not elaborate on at all, which is real fucking weird. And they don't imply that at the beginning of the movie at all, which would have been
her turning
something.
Even then, the funny thing is somehow her turning him on is her fault.
Right. Exactly.
Like, do we maybe want to talk about how fucked up your kid is?
And it's essentially like he's the biggest crybaby incel woman hating little baby that anybody could possibly be. And it's the worst motive for being a masked serial killer that anybody has ever had. Ever.
His whole thing is basically, you're not nice. Women aren't nice. You don't do nice things.
You're so mean to me.
Therefore murder.
Yeah. And then I'm going to go to the hockey game with my boy.
It's a football game. What the fuck is wrong with you?
I'm sorry. It's
a Rose Bowl. Hockey doesn't have bowls.
They do. They have that big bowl they give to people. They're like, here's a big bowl. You did such a good job. Here's a big
cup.
old bowl.
It's literally called the Stanley Cup.
It's a bowl, though.
Just
because you call it a cup doesn't make it a cup. If it was a cup, it'd be a little cup that you could drink out of. It's a big old bowl. Like one that you would like toss salad in or serve a large amount of juice in with a big ladle.
I love that neither of the things are what I was thinking, which was an entire bag of cereal. You didn't. I'm sitting here going, he's gonna say cereal. Like when you said giant bowl, for some reason my mind envisioned a bowl filled with that like off-brand s'mores cereal you get in bags, not boxes.
No, it's more like a juice bowl at a
like
party
a jungle juice bowl
with a big
like at a
ladle.
party.
Yes,
something you party with.
Yeah. So that's what the Stanley Cup reminds me of. Thanks for coming to my TED Talk. So either way, it's the dumbest motivation, and up to that point, it's like pretty cool that he's doing what he's doing. And then he sits on the floor next to her in the elevator and he's just like, you're all women are so mean to me. I hate you all. Why are you all so mean to me? And it just ruins any coolness that he has and any good motivation. And if you're giving him the benefit of the doubt of like, he's got to have some reason for wanting to do that beyond, oh, hey, she lives with you. You could have just killed her in her sleep instead of going through this whole rigmarole. All of it is stupid. It ends up, all of it is dumb.
If you sympathize with him, really, he's just being a good dad because his son keeps getting mom boners. So really, he might be our protagonist.
Doesn't he literally say, you castrated me and you're starting to do it to our son and I won't let that happen, basically?
Yes. Because, Mike, all women are evil. This is why we had to roll back Roe versus Wade. This is why they shouldn't be voting. They're evil creatures. You can't. I'll go on a tirade. Listen, women.
So, all right, look, all of it is dope up until this point. Did you get that too? Is that how you were feeling when you got to this point? Or Because for me, I'm so in until that scene in the elevator when he sits down next to her and just lays out why he's been doing this. Even the part where he's hanging her in the elevator and all that shit, all of it's cool. But
there are I like most of the movies that you make me watch, because the ones I suggest are all gold. I found myself throughout the whole thing going, this is a really, really cool concept, but the execution in a lot of the important roles was really poorly done. The bands don't make any sense. This is the worst telethon ever. The dancing is, they're moshing.
It reminds me
the whole time they're moshing. And I don't know if you noticed this, but the overabundance of sound bites of scuffling feet during the dancing
I didn't notice
is
that, but
so unbelievably distracting, where it's just like, it's like, have you seen those videos where they'll take like people dancing or performing, and they'll take all the music out of it, and it'll be like Michael Jackson's feet shuffling, and then him just going, ooh, ooh.
Yeah.
It's a lot like that, but they included the music. But I swear to God, like knowing how movies are made, I swear to God, there is just a point in the production phase where they went, quiet on the set. Roll sound, scuttle, 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 scuttle. And then there's like nothing else. And they just needed recordings of shuffling feet. It's so fucking distracting. And
no, I didn't notice that at all.
There's so much of it. See, this is how I know I have some neurodivergent disorder, because I heard that, and then the music just faded away for me, and all I could hear was shuffling feet. Even when they're moshing.
I mean, I think that the whole music part is time filler, because if we take all of that out, this is an hour 25, and if we take all of that out, we're left with
an hour 10,
maybe 50 to an hour 10, maybe. Yeah. And so it's definitely there for time filler. I also know that a lot of those bands, I looked this up at some point, and it turned out that a lot of those bands are affiliated with the director in horror movies in some way. That like they were doing horror soundtracks or something.
I fucking
they're definitely
knew it,
like
dude.
Friends and like running the same circles and stuff like that.
They're like the movie industry version of studio musicians.
I can't remember the exact. Well, it's like when we watch Driller Killer. Do you remember in Driller Killer they have a band move in right upstairs? And it's like driving him crazy. And it was sort of it was a similar thing where they just knew those guys and put them in the fucking movie. All of it. It's just so DIY
I remember
shit.
I remember watching Driller Killer, and a part of our review was, well, yeah, I'd go on a killing spree too if those people lived next to me.
Yeah, exactly. But either way, I mean, the punk music part of this is like the cheesiest part of it, because it really highlights when this was made, what was cool at the time, and it's very like mall punk.
Sometimes
it's not like
blues. Did you notice that? Did you notice they went from the theme song, and then that same band then starts playing blues. Yeah. And I don't mean like blues fusion. I mean like BB fucking King blues. It is mind-boggling. They were just like, well, you guys can make another song in that genre. Well, we made this instead.
I mean, it works.
It doesn't.
Fill time.
Works to fill time. To fill time, yes. To lend any iota of anything to it. The movie, it does nothing. It got a laugh out of me, but that was about it.
But beyond that, like you didn't dig it all that much, huh?
I didn't hate it. I thought I thought the concept was good. This is, and I called you and told you this. This is the most 80s thing ever. And I think
it's definitely up there.
I think this movie is a very good example of how hard it was for people in the 70s. Those poor people transitioning from the 70s to the 80s. I mean, clearly it was a fucking nightmare if this is what was going on.
Well, this has the same kind of vibes. It was much later. I think it was like 89 or something. The Thanksgiving movie. That's not cranberry sauce. What movie is that?
Yeah.
It's much later, but this has the same like hardcore 80s vibes as Blood Rage does. That's not cranberry sauce. You remember this? Do you remember
I
this
do.
movie
I don't remember it sounding like a New York grandmother, but
the twin, the twin breaks out of the fucking psychiatry home and he killed that woman at the drive-in.
It's a Thanksgiving movie, isn't it?
Yeah, it's Thanksgiving movie, yes. This has a lot of the same like 80s style vibes where you just look at it and go, God, the 80s were just terrible. Just bad. Like there's fun 80s with like Friday the 13th and you know, stuff like that. And then there's bad 80s, which is stuff like this, where you look at it and go like, why is Saved by the Bell turning into a horror movie? I don't get it. What the hell is happening? So anyway, I with all that out of the way, why don't you go ahead?
Wait, hang on. No. We need to explore this for a second. If Saved by the Bell were a horror movie, there's only two obvious villains, and I don't know which one works better. Screech or the principal.
Oh,
and I
that's
think
so
it's
weird.
the principal.
It's Mr. Belding. For sure. Sure, it's Mr. Belding. He's like, I'll fucking show Zach. I'll make him listen finally. And he just fucking snaps. Yeah.
Yeah.
What a great movie.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Slate. That would be a great movie. Screech, I imagine. Screech is Jamie Kennedy from Scream in that movie. Yes.
Or the killer is Slater, and you call it Slater, Slayter, AC Slater. And it's a good thing it's a good thing this is wrestling fucking come here, preppy.
You know what? It's a good thing we're putting this out on the internet, because now if anybody makes that movie, we can sue them.
We could make it with Sora. Why don't we just like get on Sora and we'll just make it ourselves?
Nope. Because I won't do that. I will not do that. Absolutely not.
We can be part of the problem. Why don't you go ahead and give me your final thoughts and ratings on New Year's Evil? Because there's not much left to talk about other than he's a sad boy incel. They got lucky one time and had a kid. He doesn't like women because women are mean, and all the women in his life have been mean, and they castrated him in some way. And so he's real sad about it. So he decides he's going to kill his baby mama.
What if that line's literal?
Take his boy to the hockey cup.
What if him being castrated is a literal line and he actually had a really good reason for doing all of this?
If he had pulled his pants down and been and it was like real grotesque and crazy.
You didn't see his dick? I didn't see his dick.
That would be a good way to tie it all together. Yeah.
Yep.
For sure.
He could have no dick. He could
This man has no dick.
He could be our protagonist.
So why don't you go ahead and give me your final thoughts and ratings on New Year's Evil?
Well, I think there's a lot of interpretation with this movie now. There's a lot of things. Now I'm just confused. No, the premise of the movie is a very cool one. The execution, like the directing is good. The set design is good. The makeup is good. In fact, now that I'm saying it out loud, the only part of this movie that sucks is the acting and the writing, which is a shame because then it would have to be a silent film to be good. So overall, it's not terrible. It's fun. If you're looking for a New Year's themed horror movie, unfortunately, this is one of the three options that you've got. But it's not a terrible choice if you're wanting to do like a themed movie around New Year's. Overall, I gotta give this like a 5 out of 10. It was the acting from everyone.
Here's the thing though, if the writing was better, it wouldn't matter. Like if
dude, he sounds like he's talking through a kazoo on the phone. Even the transcoder's bad.
Evil. So here's the other thing.
I can make that voice with my voice.
He doesn't need it. Yeah. Before I give you mine, I just want to touch on the very last couple minutes of this real quick. Because it's basically, he jumps off the roof. He jumps off the roof.
Oh.
And his son takes up the mask, kills the ambulance driver in broad nightlight in front of all those people.
Broad
nightlight, because it's in front of like 30 people. I don't know how he did that.
Right.
Not important. He takes the mask off his dead father, who just jumped off the roof with no blood anywhere, by the way. I feel like if they had done that, that would have gotten them a hard R. And not, that's not what that means. Anyway,
I don't know if you noticed this. He's actually doing like a religious crucifix pose too. I can't remember which.
He was like this, like with his fucking.
I think they might have screwed up, or I might be remembering it wrong, but I remember him being laid out like his arms out, and then his leg at like a 45-degree angle, and that's like a religious symbol. I don't know if they did that on purpose, because most people
would guess probably not.
I would imagine your hips being pulverized is the first thing that happens, and your legs go all Eye of the Tiger out sideways.
I would also imagine that mask is the last thing you'd want to put on your face after an event like that. So anyway, his son picks up the mask,
feel
puts
close
it on,
to daddy,
and steals the ambulance with his mother inside of it, basically implying that he is going to murder his mother because his dad didn't finish the job.
Right.
So that's the very end of this movie. I personally, I'm going to go into my thoughts and shit on this. I personally think this is fun. The acting is not good. The writing is not good. The cinematography, surprisingly strong, considering this is 1980. The lighting, surprisingly strong. I think the concept and everything around the plot and stuff is all really fucking cool. And then there's the execution of all of it, which is real hit or miss. I think the kill scenes are really cool. There's a scene where he holds up the knife in the first murder in the hospital, and the fucking light like gleams off of it and shit. It's beautiful. It's a beautiful shot. And there's little tidbits here and there, like when he kills the girl in the dumpster and all that stuff. It can be real cool.
That shot was really cool.
Really cool. But then there's stuff where he's running around like a Scooby-Doo villain, gluing on fucking mustaches and acting as priests. And there's a whole
Clark
other
Kenting, as we call it.
Yes, Clark. He's running around Clark Kenting it up, and it just feels weird. And it just doesn't quite work because of how unserious it can feel at times. And then there's the other real serious side of this that they're really trying to play up. And then you get to the ending where he sits down next to her and just word vomits why he's doing all of this. And it's just the worst possible explanation for why he's doing it. And it just kills any of it. But then the little tiny part at the end of the kid picking it up, like maybe we'll make a sequel or some shit like that, is hilarious to me. I think it's really funny. And it probably ends up saving the movie a little bit just because of how wacky it is.
That end part with the son in the ambulance actually saved this from being possibly one of the most anticlimactic endings on the planet.
And it's a big downer if you take that out too.
Right. Like it's just there's this whole like chase scene up to the roof, and then he goes on this weird Shakespearean rant, and then so just like
strange.
Over the edge.
You can't really understand what he's saying because he's got a mask with no mouth hole, and so it's all sort of muffled, and you can tell he's trying to be pretentious and poetic, and it just doesn't quite work.
There really needed to be a scene from the detective before he jumps, where he goes on that rant, and then the detective goes, "Huh?" And then he just goes, "Nobody understands me," and then just jumps over the edge.
The other hilarious part about it is how he jumps. He jumps like there's like.
He's clearly jumping into a net.
Yeah, he hurdles it. Like not I'm gonna kill myself, but more like, I don't want to hurt my ankle as I jump over this little thing.
He jumped over it the way a pole vaulter goes over a rod.
Exactly. So, I mean, all of that is to say, I do like this movie. Now, in 2022 on my solo review, I gave this a 4 out of 10. Because the ending with his explanation really bothered me. I knew it was coming this time. So I was able to sort of look past it a little bit more than I was the first time I watched this in 2022. I agree, though. This is probably only a 5 out of 10. This is pretty mediocre, middle of the road, not horrible, not great horror movie. And because none of the tropes are really in there and to really save it and to help it move forward, it really struggles to keep your attention, both with the music and the just meandering with the plot. So yeah, that's how I'm feeling about it. 5 out of 10 as well. We don't often see eye to eye on stuff like this, but this is one of those ones, dude, where there's a lot to talk about, but it just doesn't.
I'm trying to view them through a different lens. I'm trying to judge them through a different lens, and I feel like it's getting better. I feel like a year ago I would have rated this 2 out of 10.
Yeah, for sure. But dude, it's just that end monologue kills any coolness or anything that he has throughout the entire movie, because he's running around seducing women and murdering them, and you're like, this guy's like charmingly aggressive, and like, you know what I mean?
Right.
Like
Ted Bundy. He's a Ted Bundy.
Exactly. And you're like, he must have this killer reason to do what he's doing. And it ends up he's just this sad little boy who's been picked on by women and doesn't like women. And that's that. So probably like a lot of real killers, actually.
Do you think he was the kid in like elementary school that never got Valentine's Day cards? Yeah. It just
He literally says, you're like every other woman in my life, which is funny to me because the kid is clearly like 20 years old. And so he's been living with this woman for like 20 years and is just now like snapping.
Well, yeah. And if we extrapolate that to him not cheating on his wife, that means mommy.
Yeah.
Somebody's got mommy issues.
For sure. Well, and I even say in the solo review, the detective does say that mutilating the breasts of women that you kill has a lot to do with mother issues and mental instability as far as traumatic stuff goes with your.
Well, it's a lot like why I just run around the streets punching women in their breasts.
You just cold cock him right in the titty.
Just run up around the corner and just go, kapow!
Just go, ow! That hurt, you dick!
Why don't you love me? Run away.
Violence towards women's never a joke. You shouldn't joke about stuff like that. That's not funny.
Everything's funny or nothing's funny.
All right, so if you like this, make sure you hit the like button. If you really liked it, make sure you hit that subscribe button because we got a lot more content like this on the channel. Thank you guys so much for the support this year, and we will see you guys next year in 2026. Goddamn.
Maybe, if we're not all on fire by then.
Yep. So thanks for watching. We'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye.
Ta-ta.